I feel like I'm about to have a fucking aneurysm right now. This literally came off the back of Steve Phelps really saying that NASCAR is the best racing series in the world. And then we have this fucking pile of bullshit dropped in our lap. First of all, I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way. We're not going to have any race stats or the results or the championship standings or any of that shit. We're not having any of that. And you notice there's no background music because, quite frankly, this race does not fucking deserve any of it. It does not deserve any of the usual bells and whistles that I give to my reviews. Because typically I have all the race stats ready to go. I talk about all that shit. But that may very well have been the worst Truck Series race in its entire history. It's damn near 30-year history. And that was probably the worst race that the Truck Series has ever put on. And what made it even worse was the fact that the broadcast booth was, trying to make it seem like, oh, it was the greatest fucking thing since sliced bread. When the fact of the matter is, it was a complete and total fucking joke. I mean, when you have all manners of different Cup Series drivers chiming in on Twitter, talking about how much of a fucking joke this race was, that should tell you something. You want to know the fucked up thing? You want to know the fucked up thing right now? Anybody who's watched my show knows how much I cannot fucking stand Denny Hamlin. I can't stand that motherfucker one goddamn bit. And hell is freezing over when I agree with him on something. Let me pull up a tweet that he put out after this race was over. This was 45 minutes ago. This is what happens when there's no rules, no officiating. You get a product like this. The show has taken over U.S. motorsports and why it's hard to take seriously. And I literally, not too long ago, just got done just losing my shit over the state of the sport address. And then we have this fucking nonsense. I have lost all respect that I had for Corey Heim. While I do agree that Carson Hocevar was way too aggressive for his own fucking good and got way too ambitious trying to race Corey Heim for the championship, what Corey Heim did with 2 fucking laps to go, is he decided he wanted to retaliate on Carson Hocevar, puts him right into the fucking wall, and the dumbass destroys his own fucking truck. And then in his post-race interview, he said he didn't wreck Hocevar on purpose. Bull fucking shit! What the fuck is wrong with this sport right now? Huh? There's an absolute lack of fucking respect! Fuck Corey Heim! And why am I so pissed off about Corey Heim? He affected not only the outcome of this race, but the outcome of the fucking championship. Grant Enfinger was on his way to his first fucking championship. And because Corey Heim couldn't keep his fucking emotions in check, it essentially cost Enfinger the fucking title and gave it to fucking Ben Rhodes. Probably the most Mickey Mouse way Ben Rhodes has ever won the fucking championship. And then we also had 4 fucking overtimes. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Seriously? Like, I'm just... I can't believe what I fucking watched tonight. And you had fucking Steve Phelps saying that, oh, NASCAR is the best racing series in the world in his fucking State of the Sport address. And then that truck race happens. Ain't that about some fucking shit? This is how we crown our champions now? This is how these fucking finales are supposed to go? Because if that's the case, I don't want any part of it. This was a 150-mile race. Should have taken, what, hour and a half, hour 45 minutes? 2 hours at the most. This race lasted for almost 3 fucking hours. A 150-mile race in the truck series lasted almost 3 fucking hours. What do I even say at this point that I haven't already said already? Hey Josh, awful race. Got awful doesn't even begin to describe it. Like, I watched every bit of that race and I was just in absolute shock. It's like this race couldn't get any worse than it already has, and then it just progressively got worse and worse and worse. Not to mention the fact that some of these drivers took some heavy fucking hits. Like, there were some brutal fucking hits tonight. But you know, some people might think it's funny that NASCAR had a race like this. I don't think it's funny one bit. It makes the sport look like a complete and total fucking joke. A sport that I have loved for 30 goddamn years. And right now, between the state of the sport address and then this fucking bullshit, my enthusiasm for NASCAR is at an all-time low. I honestly don't even want to cover the fucking Xfinity and Cup races. I don't even want to do it. Like, if this is how this shit's gonna go, then what's the fucking point? Hey, old Gerg. see a lot of my spare parts guys are coming. God damn, I have 12 people in here. Bam disapproves of race. Yeah, I just had to get on here and vent some fucking frustration because, like, how the fuck do you watch something like that and say, oh, that was a good race? Like, and I said this before, hell is freezing over when I agree with Denny Hamlin on something. That's when you know you fucked up. This reminds me of intro blades at Rosenheim. I remember when I did that rant video. The funny thing is about that, though, is that the further we got away from it, the funnier it actually became. And it's like, I was like, you know what? Maybe this wasn't so bad. Maybe this was more funny than anything else. I mean, it's still objectively the worst race that Spare Parts has ever put on, but it's still funny as fuck. The problem with this, though, is I think your cat's ass rubbed the mic. And, well, they like to rub their fucking body parts on all my shit. A ball win from the cat. I don't know where the boys went. Give me 1 second. Shit, I got no water. Fuck. I was gonna get me a bottle of water, but I don't have any water. Fuck. But yeah. I don't think there's any question. I mean, I watched a lot of racing in the 30 years that I've been a motorsports fan. I've watched a lot of good races. I've watched a lot of shit tier races. But my God, when it comes to just the whole package, this was one of the worst races of all time. Can we see Cat? Well, one of them's up there. Hey, orange one. I don't know if you can see him or not. It might be kind of hard to see because of the light, but he's kind of up in that little corner right there. He's on top. Silly shit. They like to climb up there. But my God, dude. This was without question one of the worst races of all time. Like, this is not how we should be crowning a champion. And the worst part is, you know, Steve Phelps and Steve O'Donnell are going to try to find a fucking way to justify it. Because they were sucking the playoff format's ball sack in that State of the sport address, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I wouldn't even wipe my ass with that address. Honestly, wish I could fly to Phoenix and just take a big old runny shit on top of their fucking heads. That's what I think of their State of the fucking Union address, or whatever the fuck they want to call it. And then, on top of that, as it turned out, you know how the restart zone was in a different spot than what it normally is? Turns out it was in the wrong fucking spot. They painted it in the wrong spot. It was closer to the start-finish line than it should have been. And they decided to keep it for the truck race. But they're going to repaint it tomorrow for the Xfinity and Cup races. Probably moving it back a little bit. How do you fuck that up? Like, this is everything that I've been fucking talking about for years with this goddamn company. They cannot get out of their own fucking way. God, I'm about to have a fucking aneurysm right now. And the worst part is, it could get worse. We could see this same shit tomorrow in the Xfinity race. And then the Cup race, in all likelihood, is going to be boring as fuck. What the fuck was that shit, dude? Heim manipulated that. Oh, you absolutely did. The dumb thing is, the absolute dumb thing is, because of all the fucking cautions that came out and all the overtimes that we went through 4 goddamn overtimes. If he wouldn't have wrecked himself, he still would have had a shot at the championship. I mean, like, did Carson Hocevar fuck up? Absolutely he did. Like, he was way too aggressive. Say hi to everyone in Charlotte. Hi! Hi, guys. For everybody else that's watching, a lot of the spare parts guys are in Charlotte this week for the World of Outlaws World Finals. It's basically the spare parts meetup this year. For those that will watch this after the fact, because considering the fact that, you know, this is almost 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. There's people actually watching this fucking stream. And I can only imagine how many are going to watch this after the fact. I mean, I wasn't expecting the goddamn Martinsville Xfinity review to blow up like it did. Because I was so highly critical of the shit that went down there. And now we got this fucking pile of shit caked on top of the already big pile of shit. Yeah, Carson at least admitted he fucked up. Absolutely. I mean, he knew he fucked up. I mean, you could see it. He knew he fucked up. Yeah, Heim. Honestly, what Heim did was even worse. Because while Hocevar fucked up, he was at least trying to race for the championship. Probably a little bit too aggressively, for sure. But what Heim did was premeditated. And then on top of that, he tried to lie about it in his fucking post-race interview. Like, does he think we're fucking stupid? It's obvious what he fucking did. And the dumb motherfucker even wrecked himself doing it. As well as somebody else. And also fucked Enfinger out of the championship. Enfinger was on his way to his first fucking championship. He had gotten clear of Ben Rhodes, was driving away, and Heim decides he just can't keep his emotions in check and just completely fucking... He just completely decides to just fucking wreck hosts of our shit when there's 2 goddamn laps left in the race. Like, you couldn't wait until afterwards to settle your business? He literally manipulated and affected the outcome of not only the race, but he also affected the outcome of the fucking championship. And considering that he is coming back to the Truck Series next year, he should have to sit Daytona. I mean, you want to send a fucking message? You park his ass for Daytona. Keep him out of the Truck Series' most prestigious race. That'll send a fucking message. One second. OBS is being slow. I need a new computer. This should go without saying. My final rating should be obvious. And I also like how the booth tried to say that, well, because, you know, Enfinger damn near got back to Rhodes to win the championship. That was worth the wait. You really think that that is going to save this race from being one of the worst races of all time? Like, if the people that were in the broadcast booth actually thought that, I mean, you want to talk about fucking ignorance to the highest level. I mean, half the time they were stumbling over their own words, didn't know what the fuck to say. It's like, everything about this race was a fucking disaster. And the timing of it is just fucking ridiculous because this is literally coming on the heels of the State of the Sport address and Steve Phelps saying that NASCAR is the best form of motorsports in the world. And then we literally witnessed the worst truck race of all time in the same fucking night. You couldn't make this shit up if you tried. I don't even know what to say at this point. This shit is depressing. Like, NASCAR had a little bit of momentum because, you know, the last couple of O'Donnell and Phelps look dumber by the minute. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, you want to talk about two of the most tone-deaf motherfuckers. I mean, this entire company is just a fucking joke right now. And it's just so fucking depressing because if this sport, the fall of Murfreesboro race currently has 773 views. Yeah. It's easily the most watched episode of The Fuel in the show's entire history by a country fucking mile now, which is insanity. Of course, I was highly, highly critical of Richard Childress Racing, and that probably has a lot to do with it. But, I mean, what else do you want me to say? You know, when it comes to these reviews, I tell it like it is. I mean, some people may not like it, but with me, there's no frills and there's no bullshit. I tell it like it is, and that's how it should be done. It's how a review should be done. No frills, no bullshit. I mean, even my mother has told me that I can be brutally honest. Sometimes a little much so. I can be a little too brutally honest. But then I come back with, well, you want me to tell you the truth, or do you want me to lie to you? Because I'm not going to blow smoke up anybody's ass just for the sake of it. I don't shit on this company for the sake of shitting on it, and I don't praise this company for the sake of praising it. I give it what it deserves. If I feel a race is good, I say so. If I think a race is shit, I say so. That's how I've always operated. I mean, I honestly don't know what else to say. I mean, the title of this episode is called The Worst Truck Race of All Time. That's not hyperbole. I've watched a lot of fucking truck races, and considering that this was, you know, the finale, the final race of the year, the one that decides the championship, the fact that you had somebody decide to take out his frustrations on somebody who spun him out and effectively manipulated the outcome of not only the race but the championship as well. And then to go through 4 goddamn overtimes where it just seemed like they just didn't want to stop wrecking each other. Like, how can you not call this the worst truck race of all time? We should not be crowning champions this way. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I don't give a fuck what Steve O'Donnell and Steve Phelps say. They can take the playoff format and stick it straight up their fucking ass. I mean, they just look like complete and total fucking morons now. You know, they say that NASCAR is the best racing series in the world, and then literally several hours later, like literally 5 hours later, we just literally watched probably the worst truck race of all time. Good job, you dumb motherfuckers. I mean, it's an embarrassment. What an absolute fucking embarrassment to the sport of stock car racing. And the worst part about it is, the Truck Series is not going to get a chance at redemption for 3 months. 3 or 4 months until Daytona. This is going to be lingering in everybody's minds for 3 fucking months. And it pretty much confirmed what a lot of people have already pretty much come to the conclusion to as far as this series is concerned. The Truck Series is fucking trash. I mean, it used to be one of the most entertaining series that NASCAR had, and my God, 2023 was probably one of the worst, if not the worst season of the Truck Series in its entire history. And this race pretty much epitomized that. And as someone who's just been, I mean, I have been a long time follower of NASCAR. You know, like I said, over 30 years watching. You know, when I was a little guy, and I was a fan of Davey Allison. He was my first favorite driver. And let me tell you something, when he died in that helicopter crash, that was the worst. I didn't really have another favorite driver until Junior came along. And then he retired in 2017, and I really haven't had a favorite driver since then. But I still watch because I still love watching this sport. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. When this sport is at its best, no other motorsport compares. But when it's at its worst, it's something that I don't want to be a part of. This was supposed to be the Truck Series' greatest night. And it ended up being its worst nightmare. I don't know how the Truck Series can recover from this. Because like I said, this is going to be the lasting impression for the Truck Series for 3 fucking months. At this point, I don't want to hear any more talk about the playoffs being good for the sport, because quite frankly, if you think the playoffs are good for NASCAR, you're a fucking retard. Straight up. Because this fucking bullshit is not how you crown a champion. This is a fucking embarrassment. Shit needs to fucking change. Or this company is going to go down in fucking flames. And if that moment comes, I'm just going to stand here and be like, I fucking told you so. But what the fuck do I know? I'm just a mook with a mic, who's not afraid to voice his opinion when it's warranted. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up right there. I've done enough venting for tonight. Between the rant that I had in that State of the Sport address that that episode I did a couple hours ago, and then this episode, my voice is shot. Like I have never been this frustrated with this sport. Just the absolute fucking incompetence of everybody involved. Teams, drivers, officiating. The fucking broadcast crew is just absolute shit. Like, this was a worst case scenario for NASCAR. It really was. I mean, how could a championship finale go so wrong? Well, all you have to do is just look at this race. This is going to go down as one of the biggest black eyes that NASCAR has ever had. You know, this was supposed to be the night that they crowned the Truck Series champion, and it turned into probably the worst truck race of all time. I hope the Xfinity race is better. I really do. Because we need something to wash our mouth of all this fucking just goo. This stinky pile of shit. Unflushed in the toilet for 3 days. That's basically what this race was. But anyways, I'm done ranting. I need to go to bed because it's 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. And I want to sleep. I want to get to sleep. But I wanted to get that off my chest. Seriously, NASCAR, get your shit together. This is embarrassing. I mean, you make it embarrassing to be a fan of yours. Get your fucking shit together. And get rid of the fucking playoffs. Because that's been the numero uno on the problems that you've had. Anyway, I'm done ranting. Thank you very much for watching. My God, there were quite a few people that came in to watch this review. Or rather, this rant. I mean, it wasn't really much of a review. It was just me just spouting just fire at this point. But I get pissed because I care. I want to see this sport get better. And when dumb shit like this happens, it just irritates the fuck out of me. Because I know this sport can be much better than it is. They just don't want to do it. And that's the most frustrating thing of all. But I'll see you at some point for the Xfinity review. I don't know if it's going to be a live review or... well, hell, I don't know. Maybe since I'm covering all 3 championship races, I might just do live reviews for all 3 of them. Like I'm doing with the truck race. We'll see. I might just do that. So. But anyways, thank you very much for watching this edition of The Fuel. And until next time, this is the PackerMan signing out. See you later. What's up? Thank you for watching tonight's video. And OBS is being a prick again, so let's try this once again. Once more with feeling. What's happening, ladies and germs? Thank you for watching tonight's video. If you're interested in sponsoring the channel, there is a link to my Patreon down in the description box below. Otherwise, hit like and subscribe if you want to continue watching great content like you saw today. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, this is the PackerMan signing out.